Hey Brobots, how do you pronounce this? I found out that up until now I've been saying it all wrong. So I'm just back from Japan and I learned a bunch of nifty stuff. One of the things I had to do was that I had to bring and organize a meetup with my lovely family, with my old buddy, mentor and employer, Max Watanabe sensei. And the reason I say that is last year on our Shizuoka mission, I went there by myself. And, you know, there were reasons, economic reasons. It's expensive to bring my family to Japan, for example. And I had just started this business, so it wasn't the right time to go on an all singing, all dancing family tour, right? So this year, things are going much, much better. So, you know, we're not wealthy by any means, but we saved and got ready for it. And so together with my family, we went. And one of the main reasons, of course, was that when I met Max Watanabe, together with my mate Ryan San Pedro in his office, Max just point blank to me and said, "Link, so where's your family? I want to see them. Next time you come back, make sure you're together with your family." And, you know, I was trying not to, I was like, "You got it, boss," you know. Max is a very powerful figure in the Japanese modeling world, but I owe him so much. You know, he's really the one who pulled me out of the, you know, the obscurity net and, you know, gave me my first pro gig. So, you know, I remember, so when Max tells me to do something, you know, I'm right onto it. And how is this? Maybe this might be the time to say it first because it's burning up in my little mind and I've got to get it out. Max actually admitted in front of, you know, myself and my family, this time over dinner, he said, "The reason I brought you to the Hobby Japan MAK in SF3D project was that I wanted to learn your hand painting skill, technique, look, and implement it with my own." And, you know, I didn't see my face, but my wife leaned over and went, you know, she said, "You should see your face." So they all had a good laugh at me. But for me, man, that was a really big moment. I always knew this was the case. I knew it, right? Because when you see Max's work in the first book, so yeah, the second book's out. I'll do a review of that separately. But when you see the work in the first book, it was mostly airbrush, and it's very good. Then in the second book, his look changes altogether. And yeah, it does look a lot more like mine. So I always knew this was the case, but to have the guy admit it to me and my family, and then for me to blab it on YouTube, was really, really awesome. It was very big of him, and it was a really touching moment for me. Anyway, I didn't mean to get into all of that. I was just, you know, I'm really excited about all the feedback for it. So, this time, of course, we saw Max a bunch at Shizuoka. He's super flat out there, and you know, it's like he's running with bacon in his pockets with wild dogs. People are all over him, so you know, we don't pounce on him there. But we had organized and a private dinner together because he's known my little girl Tabitha since, you know, basically since she was born, and Max also has one daughter, so you know, there's some similarities there, and we like to put the girls together. And so we organized that, and it happened. And I'll include a couple of photos here while I'm talking. It was like a Japanese style food borrowed from Korea barbecue thing, and man, it was so good. It was really, really good. So I'm trying to concentrate on that. I'm trying to concentrate on what Max is saying. I'm getting all confused because, you know, you put barbecue beef in front of me, man, I'm all, you know, can only focus on one thing at once. So that's happening. We did all of our catch-ups, etc. And then the topic switches to Gunpla, because the reason I started doing Gunpla is because Max told me to. I mean, I know that sounds pretty silly, but because I'd been so busy working with the Maschinen Krieger property, there just was no little break for me to go over and jump on Gunpla. And so Max goes into sensei mode, and he says, "Look, it's really good. Very happy that you're kicking off with Gunpla. Things seem to be going really well. You've got some good looks happening." But then he wanted to go in and explain some things to me. I'll save that for another video, because I mean, that in itself is a fantastic discussion, and I'd really like to share that with you. But the biggest thing that blew my mind was that I was saying this wrong all this time. I thought, because this is one of the things, big chunk of my life, like 80-90% of the stuff I learned about plastic models was in Japan. Now I'm learning stuff, internationally in Australia and with my international English speaking friends. So we say some things differently. I'm not saying that it's wrong. We have just as much right, I guess, to invent how we pronounce things, from a certain point of view. But wouldn't you like to know how it's pronounced in Japan by the guys who made the name? So I'm saying Ver.Ka, and I'm blaming my mate Ryan San Pedro for this, because Ryan has said, dude, you got to do a Ver.Ka, Link, Link, you got to do a Ver.Ka. And I'm looking at the range, and I do really like them. I appreciate them more for what they are. So I'm saying it to Max. I said, Max, I really want to do one of the Ver.Ka kits. Which one would you suggest? And Max looks at me like, it's back like I didn't speak Japanese again. What are you saying? I said, Ver.Ka kits. Those special ones, the Ver.Ka kits. And he's got this puzzled look. So I've got two monkey tracks happening in my brain at the same time. The first one is that knee-jerk reaction, oh, come on, you noob, don't you know what Ver.Ka means? But then the intelligent track starts cutting over the lizard man brain and says, you idiot, of course Max knows what Ver.Ka is. Obviously, you're saying something wrong. So I dig out my phone, I pull out some photos, and I go, these Ver.Ka kits. And Max has this, the look of realization beams across his face, and he starts laughing. And he says, no. Version Ka. We call that version Ka. That moment? You realize you've said it 1,000 times, technically wrong. It's version Ka. And you guys all know, I'm not even going to say it because you guys all know the person who created those kits. Max is, of course, friends with him. So what I would like to do in the future is, once I've made a couple of them, it would be really cool if I got to meet with the designer. Maybe do a really quick YouTube video to share that with you. That could be really cool. So, sorry that took a long time to get out. There's so many cool stories from the Japan trip. But yeah, Ver.Ka, which I've been saying until recently, I'm now retraining myself. I have to say version Ka. I hope that helps. See, the reason I really wanted to tell you guys is because if you're like me, I prefer to know the root Japanese way of how they say things, look at things, think about things for our Japanese mecha hobby. To me, it's the more direct, pure line of information, if that makes sense. Then, once I understand that to a high level, then I can take steps to make it mine and more original. And then perhaps mix it together with other things as well. But if I don't get the pure core information correct, then I'm basically starting off from a tangent, if that makes sense. So personally, I love to know the real way. That's what really drew me into the Maschinen Krieger stuff and being able to share that with you. Now I'd like to do that more and more also with Gunpla, because Gunpla's deep and there's a lot of cool things. So first things first, I wanted to let the folks know who watch my channel that we call it version Ka instead of Ver.Ka. Cool, right? I hope you're happy to know it. Okay, next, whilst we're talking and having a good time, I hope, I wanted to give you guys a brief channel content link update. First biggest news is that I've got a book deal, a really good book deal too. I had considered self-publishing because I feel that it's important that I can get a core and true and authentic message out, based on my experience as a I was going to say Japanese pro modeler, but I'm not ethnic Japanese. It doesn't sound quite right. As a professional modeler in Japan, I want to get that core, direct methodology, product usage, and all of that stuff out there. I discussed with, I've got a good network of people. I discussed and put the idea in front of a bunch of people, and I eventually came to decide on one company who gave me a fantastic offer. And if you're watching, thank you very much, guys. We'll announce more soon. They gave me full creative control. So I can use any products. It's just whatever I want to do. Can you believe that? I mean, they're so confident in me producing a really good book for them that they let me do whatever I want. So I'm very happy about that. I will not treat that flippantly though. I will make sure that it's good. And everything that I've learned from the professional modeling in Japan, making videos on YouTube, the content creation, all of that will be put into this book. And that should be available for you late next year. And it's going to be a really good one. I'll put everything into it. I want to make it the very best that I can do. So I hope you're happy about that news. However, it does slightly change what we can do here on the YouTube platform. I can't, because of the agreement, I can't release as much step-by-step and full tutorials to the YouTube platform. However, the publisher is fine, is actually very happy that I have the membership program happening. So I'm going to slightly change my style. I'll be doing weekly build logs covering, start to finish. It's something I haven't been able to do before. In learning how to make videos, etc. It was quite difficult. I feel now I have the technical ability to be able to do build logs. So full start to finish video tutorials, build along with link build logs on the Patreon platform. And because it's not public, it doesn't go against our agreement. And they're hopefully happening every Friday. And I'll be working on that. And I'll basically just show, here's what I worked on this week for the book project. And that will give you a summary. You'll be able to build along. Anything that won't fit into the book format, I'll be putting that into the build log. And likewise, stuff that's not quite right for the build log, I'll be putting that as SPS, step-by-step photos, into the book. So hopefully together they make one of the best compilations of how to make sci-fi models that has been available yet. I think that's a unique approach, so it should be pretty good. I am actually very excited about that. This week, for example, there will be a how to do a custom build of the Maschinen Krieger pilot for the Ver.Ka video, and it's just over an hour long. It's very good. I hope you like it. But moving along, the YouTube channel will change a little bit. I'm realizing now with my various work, etc., that I have a lot of information to share that's slightly off to the side. It doesn't exactly fit into tutorials, but it's very much worth sharing. The philosophy, methodology of model making, the reasons behind it and why, etc. There's a lot of cool stuff like that that I think is actually more appropriate for a YouTube channel. So in fact, I'm actually going to take this opportunity to change my style. Instead of just being a tutorial guy, I'm actually going to try to become a proper YouTuber and release more regular videos to you. Sounds like fun? Well, let's try it out. It's going to be a lot of work, but I'll do my best for you as always. Hope you really liked that one. I know it's a little bit long, but I got all excited. Please like and subscribe if this is the kind of stuff you're into. Thanks a bunch, guys. More soon. See ya. Big thanks to Hobbyco and Little Robot for their support and for bringing us the best brands and live events from Japan. Support local. Huge thanks to our top supporters, the epic Brobot Rocket Punch team of Ivan, Grant, Con, Jack, RJ, Mr. Tweets, Matthias, Peter, Robert, Kelso, Kevin, Derek, Dom, Nick, and Danny. And welcoming our old mate, John Bias, to the team. And of course, the Brobot Inner Circle, the awesome folks that make this happen. I couldn't do it without you. Always, thank you so very much. Please join us.